What's up, y'all? You're watching Brooklyn Shuffleboard, and we are out here at the Royal Palms Spring 2023 Banquet. This match is going to be an excellent window into what makes the Royal Palms so special. It's the semifinals.
We're ready for the semifinals.
Oh, wait a second.
Right here on court number 1, it's Shuffleboard to death. They're taking on big money, big prizes. I love it. And on court number 2, Ting Tang Walla Walla Big Bang. Going up against longtime players' first Banquet appearance. Give it up for Shuffleboard again. We're so happy to have you here tonight for our New Orleans themed banquet. We got more crawfish coming out. We've got a very, very special surprise in between the semifinals and the finals. Maybe something musical. Surprises all night long. The ice luge is in full effect. If you want shots, go do the ice luge. We're so happy to have you here. One round of warm-ups, everybody. Let's get it on. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. All right, y'all. We are about to start the semifinals at the 2023 Spring Banquet. The match we are filming is Court 1. It's big money, big prizes. I love it. Who won the whole championship 2 seasons ago versus Shuffleboard to Death, who won the championship last season. This is going to be an incredible match. It is the semifinals match of our Spring League. We had the top 32 teams in an all-day playoff yesterday. These are the final 4 of those 32. So you are going to see some high-level shuffleboard. You are going to see a rowdy, rowdy crowd here at the Royal Palms, and this one is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, shuffleboard, Royal Palms Banquet is always a giant, giant party. It is basically a love letter to the league where they have a league members-only party to watch the semifinals and the finals, and there's a theme. Everyone gets wedding drunk on a Monday night. There's a giant dance party. The theme this time is New Orleans crawfish boil. Adam of the Gumbo Brothers, coming out of Nashville, Tennessee, is doing so much crawfish. Every drink you buy comes with a free shot also, so it gets pretty debaucherous. I have a feeling these players are going to try to keep it a little sober until this thing wraps up, but the crowd certainly is not. All right, so we're on Court 1. Court 1 is kind of a little unpredictable court. We use it as our championship court, and it's kind of is always throws something surprising into the mix. What to expect from this match? Oh, yeah, what kind of format it is. So we got 4-player teams. They're playing 2 8-frame games, and if the same team wins both of those 8-frame games, then they win the match. If they split one 8-frame game to one 8-frame game, then they do a 4-frame tiebreaker, which I will explain if it comes to that. This court kind of has like unpredictable drift. I think on the black side it curves to our left, if I remember correctly, but that spot that Ian's shooting from right now, that one spot on black, has sort of this nasty hook on it, because there is a HVAC unit above that spot. So there's kind of like there's maybe like a drip at some point or something like that, because it's really hard to shoot from that one spot, and it throws a lot of people off. But other than that, the court is like not one of the more dramatically drifty courts we have. It's all pretty straight. It's just like certain unpredictable patches that people have to adjust to. So we might see some whiffs. Also, the pressure might cause some whiffs too. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one, though. We got some equally matched teams. Big money, big prizes has been playing since like 2016, something like that, playing almost since the very beginning. Really, really nice guys. They sub for us a lot. Chris, who's playing on the foot here, I went to his wedding a couple weeks ago. Him and Sydney got married. Really nice dude. Also Adam with the beard, who's not playing, but he's standing at the head. He is on the board of the first ever board of the New York Shuffleboard Association as the competitive play league. So these people are obviously super passionate about shuffleboard. On yellow, we have Shuffleboard to death. Ben is down here. He's been playing also since the very beginning, pretty much. Really, really strong player, probably one of the best players here. And his father-in-law, Nelson, is sitting calmly on the bench down there. He's also an incredible, incredible player. But the fun story about this team this season is that they had some differences in lineups, where they took two players who had only played one season before, Brendan and Michelle, and basically coached them to get to the Banquet. It is absolutely unreal that players that have been playing for one season are in the Banquet right now. And I was talking to Nelson before the match, and he basically said it was a testament to their dedication. They were coming here every Sunday practicing, really, really getting excited and passionate about Shuffleboard and trying to make up for lost time with some of the extra years that these other players have. All right, so that's the first shot. Frame 1 out of 8. Shuffleboard to death on yellow. Big money, big prizes on black. Yellow starts off going for a St. Pete, but throws it really deep. And Ian is going on the board with what looks to be possibly a good 8, possibly on that 10-8 line. Oh, they got to take a nice look at it. Yeah, not in. You can kind of see that disc curve left a little bit as it was settling down, so that kind of gives a little window into the drift. And yellow, without the hammer, is either going to try to block up or they're going to clear it out. Yeah, they're clearing it out. Oh, they whiffed. So even though that 8 is not in, Ian can definitely bump that to be a good scoring disc, but he has to get it perfectly with some of that weird drift we're talking about. So yeah, Ian's move here is bump that black disc into an 8, maybe into a 7, but have it be hidden by the disc he's shooting. And he bumps it he bumps it kind of into the wide open area of the court. So not what he was trying to do there. He missed it to our right. And Ben is advising just sort of blocking up that right side so Ian can't make the bump again. And she does not do it. So that disc, second disc in a row that went really far to her left, our right, versus where she was aiming. And Ian has another chance at this bump. Let's see it, baby. Oh, wow, that one curved way left. That is unreal. So what I advise my teammates when I play on this court is just don't ever start from that one spot because it's just so unpredictable. All right, yellow's probably just going to block it up again. Yeah, they're just blocking it up. So Ian, not really a whole lot he can do to score two discs. He's either going to take that open 8 cross court on the left, or he's going to try to combo that black in the middle. That's probably what he's going to try to do, is try to get more than one scoring disc by comboing that black. It's not hard enough, and he doesn't even get the hammer. It comes up too short and ends up on the center line, and that is a whole lot of action for not scoring the hammer. Ian had like 3 different opportunities there that he could not convert on. And you could tell by his body language a little bit, he's like shaking his head. He's frustrated by that. Anytime I miss a shot and I get another chance at that same shot like he did with the bumps, I'm like, oh, baby, this is amazing. I'm 100% getting this. And then if you miss it a second time, you are just so demoralized. Ooh, and Chris's St. Pete comes up short of the lag line, so that disc gets removed. Yeah, these courts, it's pretty humid in here. I mean, we got a crawfish boil going on inside the building, so there's a lot of humidity, probably making some stickiness with these discs. And we'll see what Ben does with the hammer. Looks like he's throwing up a St. Pete of his own, and that is nicely placed. So that's kind of setting himself up there, where if Chris doesn't clear that, or he tries to clear it and he sticks his own disc, yellow can hide in that right side of the 8 area, maybe on top of that number 7, and that would be perfectly blocked up, or the disc that he would score in a future shot would be totally hidden behind that yellow up front. So that's kind of why people throw up those St. Pete's. Chris goes for the clear and gets a nice clear. All right, so Ben, I imagine he's probably going to do the same thing, throw up another St. Pete. Really not content just to score one on the hammer. He's trying to maybe get lucky with a hide. And that's on the line, so that stays there. I don't know. I think Chris is probably going to try to clear it again. Yeah, he goes to clear it again, and he clears it successfully. So some people, if you're yellow, you have the hammer, you have an extra disc here. They'll throw off here, just thinking that there's nothing they could really do that will help them. I mean, they could score a disc and maybe their opponent will whiff, but maybe their opponent will kitchen them. So it's not really wise to go on the board, but I mean, that's kind of what he's going for there. No, he doesn't get it. I mean, he missed, but not in a bad way. If I'm Chris, you either choose to block up the right side to make his hammer hard, where Ben would have to shoot down the left, and that's what Ian is suggesting right there. And that carries deep, and it ends up being a high 8. Not going for it, but he will 100% take that. That is the best shot in Shuffleboard when you don't have the hammer for your final disc. So that high 8, I mean, Ben has to kind of kitchen it or just clear it out. There's no way he could hit it straight on and score anything. So the two options are just hit it hard and clear it and be resigned to not scoring on this frame, or try to kitchen it, which that would normally be a strategy, but with these slow courts and also that yellow disc in the way, he's going kitchen speed, and he comes up a little hard. Definitely wise to give it a little bit more energy because of how slow things are right now. But at the end of the day, does not score his hammer. And after 2 frames, we have a scoreless match. 0-0, frame 3 of 8, about to start up. Each team has had 1 hammer so far, so we got even hammers for the rest of the game. And black is out right now. Yeah, not a lot of fireworks so far. Just a really nice high 8 from Chris. But so far, pretty clean shuffleboard game from the foot. I guess a lot of action in that first frame in the head, but nothing really coming from it. All right, and yellow, keeping it clear, scoring the hammer, clips that block a little bit left. And that's probably, I mean, she didn't clear it perfectly, but that's probably enough where it's really hard to hide behind that because of how far to the left it is. Yeah, and Ian's going for it. Going for that corner 7 and gets it. Nasty shot. Oh, man. Pressure's high at the banquet. A ton of people watching. And he just nails that shot. I mean, there still is a little bit of a line for yellow to get to. But that is pretty much as good as it's going to get. Oh, and she just misses it. Yeah, she misses it hard to the right. So Ian, with that hide, I mean, I think you got to put up another block. She had a line at it where she could clip the edge of it, but just missed it. I think you got to reinforce that, block it up even more, and try to put that money in the bank. Yeah, Ian not doing that. Oh yeah, he kind of did. See, that was wild. It looked like it was going to the right, and then it hooked left at the last end a little bit. That is a very effective block. All right, so Ben's saying clear the one on the left. The idea being that you open up a lane to that hidden 7 if you clear it out. Maybe you hit it straight on and combo the black into the other black. She does not get it. I mean, she kind of cleared it well enough. Ian could. She has a line at it down the alley, so Ian could either block that or he could hide another one, hide an 8. If I'm him, I maybe block up just because you could very easily stick a line. Yeah, see, he missed it, and now all of a sudden you went from having a hidden 7 to a wide open 7. Got a little greedy trying to hide the other one, not realizing that 7 was going to be available no matter what. Yeah. And I didn't even see the shot. Someone was asking me a question. Oh yeah. Someone was like, "Are you live streaming?" And I missed what happened. Clearly she missed it because there is a black 7 on the board. And that is a huge frame because black scored 7 points on yellow's hammer there. And really, one of the biggest things about Shuffleboard is making sure that you convert on those hammers. And oftentimes the team that does that more consistently wins. So to lose 7 points on your hammer, that's really hard to come back from. All right, Chris with a nice clear of that St. Pete. So big money, big prizes on black. They're up 7. If Chris clears it all and scores that hammer, they're going to be up 14 or 15. So that's definitely what Chris's plan is right now. Ooh, and Ben throws up what's called a Tampa. So basically kind of like the St. Pete, but on the left, and makes it
so that if Chris can't clear it, he could hide an 8 or a 7 on the left side and it'll be blocked up. And Chris doesn't clear it, and suddenly it rolls to kind of like an in-between St. Pete and Tampa on the right side, where they can both hide behind it. Ben is sort of positioning his disc from the outside. I think he's going for it. Yeah, he is going to go for this hide, and he's trying to stick it directly on that number 8. So he's looking at it from Chris's side to see exactly where he has to put it for it to be perfectly hidden. And from my vantage point, it's pretty much right on that printed number 8 on the right side. All right, taking a sec, a disc from court 2 flying over. All right, this is a huge shot. They need to claw back in this game after the last frame. All right, he lines it up. Oh, someone's in the alley, so he's taking another extra second because someone's collecting discs in the alley there. All right, he shoots it. Looks a little short. Yeah, definitely a little short, but kind of not the end of the world because that's a Tampa for himself. So if Chris clears the one on the right, he could hide. Ben can hide down the left side. So instead, Chris realizing that Ben has 2 possible hide opportunities, Chris is going to go on the board here and score an 8 down the right. Coming in a little hot and gets the 7. Deep 7. He wanted that probably like a foot to the left to be perfectly hidden. I think Ben can see it, but it's going to be a really, really hard shot from Ben to get to that 7 without clipping that black one up front or missing to the right. I mean, he could try for the kitchen here if he thinks he has a line on it. I mean, he kind of has the line on it where he could try to kitchen it, but the softer you shoot it to try to kitchen it, all right, he's going for it. Yeah, and he clips that black up front like I was talking about. The softer you shoot it, the softer the disc is going, the more it's affected by the drift. So maybe coming to that with more force would have been better. And Chris has a chance to score down the right here and score 2. Looks pretty good, and he gets it. Wow. 14-point frame for black, scoring 2 discs on his hammer. And with that disc that they stole, the hammer they stole last frame, they are up after 4 frames, 21-0. That is wild. That's a huge advantage. And that's the thing with these 8-frame games that we play. If you go down 3 scores like that after 4, it is really hard to come back. In our singles league, we do 16 frames, and all right, I'm down 21. Like that's 3 discs. I have a bunch of time to just sort of be consistent with the hammer, trying to steal hammers when I don't have the hammer, maybe get some hides in, maybe get a kitchen in. But with 4 frames, you kind of have to like start playing aggressively right now if you're going to claw yourself back in this. Oh, interesting. So yellow put up the St. Pete. Ian cleared it out, but kind of wanted to keep his disc in play. Which, when you're up 21, you kind of just want to blast it and protect that lead. Instead, yellow had the chance for the kitchen there, overshot it a little bit, but like you don't even want to give them that opportunity when you're up 21-0 in an 8-frame game. You want to just coast. You want to hold that lead, outlast them. And that's what he kind of learns on that second one, shoots it harder but doesn't clear it, and suddenly yellow has another kitchen attempt. Man, being down 21, yellow really, really wants this kitchen. So, shoots it a little bit too hard, doesn't get the kitchen but keeps it in play. And then we'll see if Ian just trying to blast it, keep it clear, getting ready for the hammer to go up 28 or 29, or if he tries to get greedy and kitchens it. Yeah, he's a smart player. He clears it really hard. You try to kitchen that, you might come up short, leave them in a 7 or an 8. And that's the last thing you want to do when you're up 21. Like the only way they're coming back is that if they steal a hammer or score 2 discs on their own hammer. All right, we got a deep 10. Oh, that's on the line. All right, well, Ian has the open court on our right side if he wants to score an 8. He can go for that 10 and use it as a backstop where he doesn't really need to worry about the speed. But with this drifty court, it's not an easy shot. So my preferred shot, score on the open court. Looks like he's maybe lining up for that 10, though. Lining up for the 10, and he delivers. Let's go. Super, super smooth shot from Ian. I'll call that a nasty hammer. And they take a 31-0 lead, which with three frames left is going to be really hard to come back from. Yeah. So 3 frames left. You're up 31-0. Chris is out first, and he could throw up a St. Pete. But for me, I'm recognizing that they only have 2 hammers left, and if they just score 1 disc each time, they're not going to catch up. So I would throw this first disc off and just blast everything. Chris he shot it short, so it's the same thing as throwing off. But that, in my mind, that's the right shot, because if you put up a St. Pete and Ben kitchens it, suddenly it becomes a game again. If you throw that first disc off and just blast everything as hard as you can, there's no way that Ben can score 2. And that's what he's going for. Clears it hard and clears it well. All right, that is clear 1 of 3 that he needs before Ben's hammer here. And Ben with a really nice deep 7. It's on the line, but that's still kind of what you want to do. And the fact that it's on the line, it makes Chris think about, do I go for the clear and potentially stick and potentially have him kitchen me, or do I just throw off? For me, given 31, I'm throwing off. I mean, let him try to split that into 2 7s if he wants. If he splits it, it's a hard split, and if he splits it, they're probably going to be close together where you could maybe clear both or combo one or the other. I'm throwing off here. I can see both shots being kind of the right choice, though. And he goes for the clear, and he whiffs it, which is fine. He almost got that clear. He cleared that nicely where, he had no chance of sticking there because of where he was aiming for. He's, aiming for the very edge of the disc. And now Ben goes for the split and almost gets it. So those discs being close together, it's going to be kind of hard to clear both. Nice shot from Ben. Didn't get the split, but definitely complicates the board here. And if you're Chris and you clear the one on the right into the one on the left, one of those yellows might stay in play. And he's instead going on the center line, which I don't really love, because Ben can kitchen that black disc to the right and roll himself to the left in an 8. So that's definitely not a shot I like. Let's see if Ben gets it. He doesn't get it. Instead, he's going for the open hammer, and he doesn't get it. He's thinking, let me not go for the hero shot. Let me just score the 15 and incrementally claw back into this game. And he doesn't get it. That's 7 yellow, 31 black. Yeah, I mean, I think the time's running out. I get that kitchening that black disc and rolling to the left is really hard, but I don't know. I can see it going both ways because it's such a hard shot. You're probably not going to get it. The open 8 on the left, much easier shot. I don't know. I'm coming around to Ben's shot here. I think that open board on the left was probably the right move. Just can't get it done though with this slow court and that weird curve to the left. His disc definitely curved to the left. All right, so yellow's down 24 right now with only 2 frames left. And if you're yellow, you got to go on the board and try to play the kitchen game. I know that she is newer to the league, Michelle, and maybe not as experienced with kitchening. But I think you're not going to win unless you go for it. And instead she goes to the clear and misses. Yeah, I mean, even if Ian... So the idea is that yellow scores 1 disc and suddenly they're down, 17. I don't know if yellow in the final frame is going to score 17 on black's hammer. All right, so Ian, for some reason, keeps the disc in play, just trying to block up the board, create a tamp opportunity for himself. But, why are you going to try to high bind a tampa even if you get the chance and risk kitchening yourself? Being up so much with so few frames left. And yeah, Ben's encouraging yellow to go on the board, which I think is absolutely the right shot. You might get Ian to miss. Going for the clear, no reason. I don't get that at all. And Ian has the Tampa hide opportunity down the right, but as I said, it doesn't make any sense to go for it. If he overshoots, he kitchens himself. Even if he undershoots, yellow can bump their disc in. Instead, he's just blocking it up even more. I don't like that at all. He leaves yellow window to score a 10. Yellow dropping that 10 will be pretty well hidden. Yeah, not really. Black is not really doing a good job of protecting this lead right now. I mean, it might work out for them, but it might not. And Yellow with the potential hide here. Yeah, that is nasty. Oh, it curves a little right, or it kind of coasts a little right. And that ends up being on the center line, so no score. But if he scored that, that would have been a hard hammer for Ian. So Ian's just trying to block up the board and overshoots it. And now Yellow has a very difficult but makeable chance for a 2-score frame here. They could, exactly where Ben's pointing, is hit that yellow disc, knock that yellow disc into the 7 on the right, and stick your shooting disc in the 8. Get that split, and that's a 2-score. Looks pretty good. Oh, overshoots it. That gets the 7 on the left. But like really had that line perfect. Just gets the speed a little bit too hard. That was an impressive attempt. And going in the last frame, it is 14 yellow, 31 black. So 17 points, yellow's down with black's hammer. So black's move, blast, everything. All right, and yellow trying to go on the board, doesn't get it there, and black, as I said earlier, the key to winning this game is just blasting everything at this point, and they stick. So yellow could either kitchen that or they could go down the alley. I think he's lining up for the kitchen. I mean, being down 17, I think you got to get that kitchen. It looks pretty good, a little too hard. All right, so clear attempt number 2. Clear attempt number 2 for Chris. And he sticks it again. So, I mean, that hide is there if Ben wants it. He could lock up an 8 or a 7 and then stick a 10 on the next shot and hope that Chris whiffs. But I think with this amount of time left, being down 17, I think you got to go for the kitchen. I think hiding that 8 and sticking a 10 on the next one is not really going to be enough. I think you got to go for the kitchen here. He shoots it pretty nicely, and so close. Does not get the kitchen. And suddenly, I mean, it's on there where Ben could kitchen on the next one. So the question is, do you try to clear that black disc out? I'm probably throwing this off and thinking that make Ben go for the incredibly hard shot, and if he gets it, you have a wide open, clear. That's probably where my head's at, but I could see an argument for trying to clear it off too, because if you successfully clear it off, the match is over. And instead he's blocking it up. Blocks it up pretty well. I mean, I think he can still get it, but I don't know if he can score on it. Yeah, I think that's probably going to get it done. The chance, it's such a slim margin of error, if he even has a line at it. It looks like he doesn't. But he's definitely going to go for it. I mean, it's the only path to victory is to kitchen that black disc on the right. Oh, it looks good. Oh, it's so close. So close. Had the line perfect. Chris will throw off down the side. And big money, big prizes takes the first one. 21-31. More crawfish, baby. Oh my God, free ice luge fun shots. Free ice luge fun shot. Oh my Lord. The drink specials are just absolutely insane at the banquet. All beers are $5, and every beer comes with a free shot. There are free fun shots just all night long if you want one. And there's 2 ice luges, and there is a keg of Abita Amber, sticking with the New Orleans theme, that For $10, you just drink unlimited Abita Amber. Madness. All right, so we're about to begin game 2. The teams have switched colors. So Big Money, Big Prizes is playing yellow now. Shuffleboard to Death is playing on black. And we have Brendan at the head with the black t-shirt. We got Nelson at the foot. Nelson, as mentioned, definitely one of the best players here. Led his team to a victory last season. So this is going to be a fun one. Yeah, they're doing their warm-up shots. Trying to figure out, let's talk about warm-up shots a little bit. Let's make this into a little bit of a tutorial right now. So the point of warm-up shots, can you grab my beer? The point of warm-up shots is to pick a spot on the court where you are aiming. Hold on one sec. All right, let's start over. So the point of warm-up shots are to get a sense of the drift on the court. Everyone's messing with my setup here. It's Banquet's a very distracting filming environment. All right, so all these courts, it is impossible to pour a completely flat slab of concrete. So similar to golf, where you're like putting, and the green might drift to the left, drift to the right. It might drift to the left and then the right. There might be little like dips, and there might be little hills, like little humps. Shuffleboard courts are the exact same thing. So in golf, though, you can perceive visually what the drift looks like, but in shuffleboard, you can't. So in golf, though, when you're putting, you don't get a practice shot, but in shuffleboard, you get 4 practice shots. So really what you're trying to do is be as strategic as possible to figure out what is the topography of the court. Are there fast spots and slow spots? Are there curves to the or slopes to the left or to the right? And the way you do that is by picking a spot on the court, aiming at it, and seeing where your disc ends up. So if you're aiming at that number 8 and your disc ends up 6 inches to the right of the number 8, you know that part of the court drifts to the right. We call it drift in shuffleboard. And then if you want to score on that 8, you got to aim basically 6 inches to the left and trust that the slope of the court will carry that disc where you want it to go. So it's about kind of figuring out reliable spots on the court where you could score your hammer. If you feel good shooting cross court and getting 8s, maybe that's where you want to shoot your hammer. It's also about figuring out where you need to aim to knock your opponent's disc out and have yours stay in its place, like Chester just did on the left there. So it's all about kind of like creating, I like to do it in inches, thinking about inches of drift left to right, but it's basically about creating a sort of mental map of the court. Some people write it down, and that's called, keeping a drift chart. A lot of the players in Florida will do that. I certainly do that when I play in international tournaments and national tournaments. Name drop my experience in the international one last year. All right, so we're starting off. So we got Adam, who I mentioned before is on the New York Shuffleboard Association board, and Chester at the foot here. Adam's at the head, wearing the gray sweatshirt. And we got Brendan and Nelson on black for Shuffleboard to Death. Adam throws up a very nice looking St. Pete, and black tries to clear it and sticks it. One other thing to notice, if you're used to playing in Florida, most courts across the U.S. that aren't in bars put down glass beads on the court to reduce friction, and everything kind of just moves more smoothly. The disc, it's like shooting shuffleboard on an air hockey table, kind of, where it just glides and glides and glides. Here, we don't do that. Most bar shuffleboard leagues don't do that. Ooh, Adam clips the block as he's trying to hide behind it. Kind of leaves it in a decent position for the future, but leaves himself on the 8, where black, if they want it, can kitchen it. It's really hard as a result of the speed of our courts to clear. I mean, you could blast it, and you kind of have to blast it, and that disc will just stay right there. Whereas in Florida, if you're shooting that hard to clear it, you're more likely than not to actually clear it. All right, Adam, with his very aggressive play style, is going to go for the kitchen here. He goes for, I don't know what he went for there, but he definitely came up way short of whatever he was aiming for, and instead leaves black a really, really perfect opportunity to bump that black disc to the left a tiny bit and have it be hidden behind that yellow disc up front. Black misses, shoots way too hard, and hits it straight on. So now Adam is just going to block up that board. as best he can and make Black's hammer really hard. And yeah, he blocks it a little bit of curve to the left as it was settling, so that alley wide open. And let's see if Brendan can get it. Adam, probably kicking himself, wanted a much better block there and did not get it, leaving that right side wide open. All right, looks pretty good. Oh, no, comes up short. The courts are definitely way slower than usual here. I think it's the humidity from that the crawfish burl. I'd say totally worth it. That crawfish burl is incredibly delicious. It's a crawfish and shrimp boil, and my oh my, is it tasty. All right, so second frame, starting off, Nelson with a very nice St. Pete. 0-0 after frame one. And Chester just completely whiffs it. So Nelson now with a hide opportunity. If he scores right on that number 8 on the left side. Oh, that's pretty, which he does. That is a nasty hide. That is perfectly hidden. Chester wasting no time. He knows what he's going to do. He's just going to clear out the front disc. Ooh, all right. He clears the front one into the second one. A really hard shot. Really nice shot, but the problem with that is that Nelson just has another chance to hide right now. Nelson almost gets it. Comes up a little long of that 8 area. And now Adam is suggesting that Chester block up, even though Chester's hammer. All right, Adam's calling an audible there. He's saying clear that yellow up front, knowing that Nelson can hide behind it again, which I think might be the right move. I mean, Nelson now has a chance to bump, and if he gets it, it's going to be a really hard hammer for Chester. But you definitely don't want Nelson hiding. I think the hide that he just went for twice. Ooh, all right. So Nelson gets that little bump, doesn't really block it up at all, so Chester could see it. But it's fortunately close to that line where it's going to be really hard to score. And Chester just hits it hard and straight on, gets rid of it, doesn't try to get too fancy. That was called a high 7. Nelson kind of ended up with it accidentally by missing that bump, but if you can get a high 7 or a high 8 on your last shot before the opponent's hammer, that is like the best shot in shuffleboard, because it is so hard to score a hammer on a disc that's in a high 7 or a high 8. Because you can't hit it straight on and score. So what you have to do is either hit the edge of it and roll your disc into a scoring area, kind of to the side, or you have to try to kitchen it. Both options are really difficult shots, especially on a humid court like this. All right, we're starting off frame 3 of 8, and it's still 0-0. And Adam with a strong clear, executed well. And let's see, I think Black is probably just going to do the same thing, but try to get it to be better. And they certainly do. The first one was, the deeper those first shots are, the less space there is to kind of hide behind it. The higher up the disc is, the more space there is to hide behind it. But it's a little bit, difficult for it to be perfectly hidden. And I think Adam's just going to try to clear it out again. Just keep it clear, score the hammer, and be the first team to go on the scoreboard. And he does not get it. And even worse, he rolls it to the right a little bit. So now, oh, all right. Nelson's saying go down the alley or block the alley shot. I don't know. I feel like maybe a more, definitely if he was playing across from a more experienced player, he would say go for the hide. Because anytime you have a hide like that, you really want to go for it. He could have stuck an 8 on there, and it would have made Adam's life pretty difficult. Instead, he overshoots that alley block. And, I mean, I think Adam should just clear this yellow again. But it looks like he's being tempted into going on the board. Oh, no, he just clears it again. All right, nice shot. Looked like he was lining up to go down that alley. All right, so he clears it. And Nelson advising just a block at the tip of the 10. Just sort of make Adam's hammer a little bit harder. There's no way you could block both sides of the board here. And instead, he overshoots the tip of the 10, gets in an 8. And I can't tell if that's a high 8 or if Adam could fit his disc there. But he's going for it. Kind of kitchen speed, hits it straight on, and gets the score. Really nice shot. I didn't know if there was enough space there from my angle back here, but Adam certainly did. And he hits it straight on, and he hits it perfectly, and he makes what is essentially a really hard hammer shot look easy. And after 3 frames, yellow's up 8-0, but black has 3 hammers left, and yellow only has 2. So it's really anyone's game at this point. If Nelson converts on this hammer, it's going to be tied or a 1-point game. All right. Chester doesn't put up a good St. Pete. I wonder if these discs are all kind of different speeds, too, because it seems like everyone is kind of having some trouble shooting a little bit harder or softer than they're going for, than they're aiming for. But Nelson just putting up a St. Pete, and Chester tries to get fancy and sort of like roll it out of the way or block up, whatever he was going for. And instead he just gives Nelson a cross-court hide opportunity. He has to bury it in that 7 for it to be hidden. And he does not get that. He does not get that in and doesn't get it hidden either. So kind of disappointing for Nelson. He had that hide opportunity, and that disc went like 2 feet to the right of where he was aiming. Chester with a pretty decent block, but Nelson can go. He's starting from the outside. He's going to try to bump that black disc. And, just misses it to the right. If he bumped that into a 7, that would have been perfectly blocked up. Ooh, a lot of action on court 2 here. Instead, he misses it, and Chester needs a really good block here, kind of filling that gap between those 2 yellows, and he gets that nicely. Really, really nice. Maybe a tiny bit deeper, because there is a shot where Nelson rolls his own and gets a 10. Let's see if that's what he's going for here. Yeah, gets that 10, but leaves the 8 in. Yeah, Nelson with a nice shot, but just like a lot of stuff on the board for your own hammer, and only net positives of 2 points there, with 8 for yellow and 10 for black. Yeah, I mean, Nelson had a couple opportunities there. This court is notorious for being really hard to play on. The Gowanus neighborhood was rezoned in the last year, and as a result, it's like going to all be high rises and like luxury rentals and stuff like that. And in preparation for that construction, they've been demolishing all these buildings and starting construction on a couple of the lots. The area around the Palms, all those buildings, the E-Waste, the casket company, all those buildings have been demolished. And this side of the building here, where Court 1 is like kind of close to where that's going on. Personally, I think it might be all that rattling the earth, might be changing courts 1 and 2, the drift a little bit. Because it's been really hard to play on courts 1 and 2 in the last couple of years. All right, well, it is Adams off hammer here, and they're up 6. So he's deciding whether there's a lot of action on court 2 that we're missing apparently. What's going on court 2 over there? Let me check in real quick. Oh, we got two discs in the kitchen. A lot of stuff going on. Adams playing aggressive, even though they have the lead and the advantage right now. Nice shot by black, just clearing that yellow out. But Adam, with going on the board, you know he's going to be trying to kitchen or just trying to like move his disc so it's kind of snuggled a little bit more behind that black. Yeah, I mean, he decided that he's trying to play aggressive this frame and take advantage of the fact that he has way more experience. All right, well, he doesn't get that. And black has a really nice Tampa hide opportunity. Oh, Nelson's not advising it. So I don't know, man. You have the Tampa here. You could argue for going for it, but you could also argue for keeping the board clear, scoring your hammer, and taking the lead here, which is what he gets. Really nice clear. So the idea behind not taking that Tampa hide is a lot can go wrong, and you might miss. And you might end up in a situation where you don't score your hammer, and you're still down 6, with your opponent having 2 hammers. So he's opting just to keep it clear and scoring the hammer. Wow, look at that left turn on that disc. That is some crazy, crazy drift. Yeah, he was going for the high 8. It was looking like it was a good 8, and then it just made a complete right turn and curved to our left on that center line. And black, I mean, a lot of that yellow is like in the way a tiny bit, but there's a lot of scoring area there. and you don't really need an 8 here because you're down 6. So whether you got an 8 or a 7, you're gonna be winning. Or you're gonna be in the lead at least. So I'm thinking you go wherever you think is most consistent drift-wise, and just score that hammer. All right, he's going cross-court to the left. Looks pretty good, and it gets there. Nice hammer. Wow, that is a clutch hammer. And suddenly, Shuffleboard to Death goes up 2 points. Takes the lead, but big money, big prizes, I love it, has 2 hammers left. Or has an extra hammer. Right? Yeah, 2 hammers left. They have 2 hammers in a row here. So 2 hammers left compared to Shuffleboard to Death's 1 hammer left. It's definitely anyone's game, but big money. They score their hammer here, and they are definitely in the driver's seat. Oh, man, he can't keep it clear. And now Nelson with another hide opportunity. The last one hooked to our right pretty significantly. Let's see if he can adjust. Gets it there. You can see it hooking right. Wow. It must be really hard to hide behind that. That is a scoring 7, but Chester has a straight line right at it. And he delivers. Really nice speed, and he kitchens it, baby. Wait, 1 or 2? 2? 2. Let's go. Chester with a 7 and a kitchen. And Nelson has to clear that out. I mean, you could combo the yellow into the black, or you could just go straight at it. Goes straight at it and does not clear it. Does not clear it out. That is still in the kitchen. And now, oh, wow. That is rough. I mean, he went between those 2 discs really nicely. Adam's advising blocking up that yellow. You do that and that. Oh, that's pretty nice. I mean, Nelson still has another shot at the kitchen clear, but if he clears it, Chester has that 7 plus a future hammer disc. Nelson with a really nice clear. Super clutch by Nelson. Takes advantage of the second try. Oh, wow. Adam is advising for the bump of that 10, which I think is absolutely not the right shot. Just take the win. Oh, wow. He gets, is that in? Is that 2? Oh, he gets so lucky. He misses badly, but he knocks that yellow disc into a 7. And that is 14 points on yellow's hammer, bringing the score to 30-18. I think if I'm Chester, I just score on the open court on the right. Definitely, score 15 or 14 for this frame. Exactly what he did, basically, but reduce the potential for overshooting and messing up that 7 that you already have that scoring. You know what I mean? Like, Chester was trying to bump that slightly and get a 10 and an 8 and score 3 discs. Instead, he shoots it way too hard and way too far to the left. He could have very easily knocked that disc he was aiming at into his other 7 and knocking it out. So wrong shot selection. I'm really ragging on him right now. I mean, they're at Banquet. They're doing something right, but definitely gets, let's go. Definitely gets we got a crawfish costume right here, which I am absolutely loving. Hell yeah. Nick, the manager, dressed up as a crawfish, or dressed up as a child riding a crawfish, technically. One of those inflatable costumes. All right, let's focus on the match. Black with a really nice deep 7. Definitely playing the kitchen game. Adam doing a really good job clearing that out. Man, all this awesome New Orleans music is super distracting. Got a little Rebirth brass band coming on right now. Oh, no! Black overshoots it and kitchens themselves. That is not what you want. Oh, man. I mean, he's trying to shoot deep 7s and play the kitchen game and just shot a little bit too far and kitchened himself. That is pretty rough. Adam's probably going to block it up. I think he's thinking if he can keep Black in that kitchen, then this game's going to be out of reach. And that looks like a pretty nice block. I'm going to walk myself over to the left and see how nice that block is. Yeah, that's a nice block. The problem with that block, though, is that shot Nelson's advising, comboing that first disc into the kitchen. I mean, it's kind of a low percentage likelihood, but you see it happen a lot. And he gets it. Oh, wow. He gets the shot. He does not leave yellow in the kitchen. Yeah, almost though. That like Adam would have been a little bit screwed there. If he stayed in the kitchen, that black disc up front would have been in the way. So that's the thing about blocking that up. I mean, it's like that shot that you just saw, it's not a high percentage shot, but it's high enough percentage where I've seen it happen like 20, 30 times over the 9 years I've been playing here. Instead, you could just maybe like score on the right. You could also just, yeah. All right, and Adam playing aggressive, going for that hide behind the Tampa, and looks like he got that pretty nicely. Black, you can tell Black is looking at it from the inside, they're looking at it from the outside. That means that they don't have a line on it. And this is their last disc too, so if they try to go for that combo, that Hail Mary combo that they just got, if they go for that again and they miss, then Adam scores 2 discs and really puts this match out of range. Oh man, we have someone else dressed up as a crawfish here. I'm loving this. New Orleans themed banquet, 2023 spring banquet. Yeah, see Black going for the hero shot that he just went for and wasn't even close. Could have shot it a little harder like he did for the kitchen clear, but what's up? But did not. Didn't. Whatever. Adam with a huge hammer here. This will put the game out of reach. This is a huge shot. Looks pretty good. Will it get there? And it gets it there, baby. That is a nasty hammer shot. Super clutch. Yellow scores 15, and suddenly this game is over. Never say never, but it is a 27-point differential that Black has to make up. Black does have the hammer, but scoring 27, that's really hard. I mean, you need 3 10s, or you need 3 8s doesn't even get it done. So Nelson with that first 10 that he needs. I mean, you clear this. Yeah, just clear it hard. Don't let him kitchen you. Clear it hard. I mean, Nelson can hide behind it. I think he could also try to kitchen it. I don't even know the right shot. I mean, there's no way you're catching up here. He's going for the kitchen, and he does not get it. It is 27. Adam's definitely doing some math here, because that 7's in play. So if you throw off, you could throw off, theoretically. I don't know if I'd block it up. I guess he's blocking it up. Doesn't get the block. Yeah, I don't like the block. Because if you block it up and he kitchens it, that block might be in the way. Nelson going with the kitchen shot and gets it. Nasty kitchen. So that's 17 of the 27 he needs. Yeah, I mean, never say never. Like I said, Chester has to clear this block out. And he gets his own out. Even better. Really nice. And then Nelson's last disc. He drops the cherry on what is essentially a poop Sunday, and big money, big prizes. I love it. Is going to the finals of the spring 2023 banquet. They all played great. They don't need no overtime. They earned that win. They are some of the most passionate shufflers in here, and they dominated that match from start to end. Thank you so much for watching Brooklyn Shuffleboard. Catch us on the next episode, which will be the finals of the spring 2023 banquet. Big money, big prizes, going against Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang.